Good afternoon, guys. I've got a great big box here. It's from Model Shop Leeds. They had the last Guillow's bird dog kit in the country. That's the UK. I could find online anyway. And I'm going to put it together for the annual Guillow's Build Off Fly Off competition. But the object of this competition is to build the model using only the kit components, with the exception of the rubber motor and the propeller, and get a minimum 20-second flight. If you get a 20-second flight, then you get entered. You've got a video, of course. Get entered into the draw, and Doyle spins his homemade lucky wheel, shall we call it, and we'll see who wins. The winner gets a kit, something like that. But of course, it's not the winning that's important, it's the taking part, and it's the learning, the building process. So the guys on the forum have already got a few days head start on me, and it's interesting to see the little modifications they're doing as they go along. I shall incorporate some of these ideas into my own build and introduce my own little ideas as well. So I'm going to have a look through the box now. You want to follow along, that's great. Look forward to any comments you want to have. I know a lot of you aren't interested in rubber powered free flight, but it's a great challenge and it makes an interesting little diversion for whatever branch of the hobby you do. So anyway, this is the Guillow's Bird Dog 2021 Build Off Fly Off competition, and this is how I'm going to build the model. So thanks for watching, and hit the old like button down below. Helps with the analytics. Cheers, guys. So what do we got? A great big rubber motor. It's not a rubber band. It looks like a rubber band. Smells like a rubber band, but it's not. It's a motor. Okay. Undercarriage wire. Dinky little cowling. Wooden wheels. A propeller. And the hook and button goes in the nose. A few sticks. Just looking at the grade of balsa that's in the kit. These two bits, it goes from hard. These two bits are really hard and therefore heavy. I might decide to use those in a different place to using these. It goes from hard to soft just in that small area. Look at that. Stringers. 16th square. Obviously not laser cut kit, but I'm not worried. Big decals. And lastly, the bit we've all been waiting for, the plans. Ah, there we go. Pretty little aeroplane. It's a little bit bigger than I thought. I think it's about 16 inches, is it? So the object of this exercise is to cut out as much weight as possible from the build, but building it just using the bits that are in the plan balsa, so it's fair to everybody, you see. Yeah, nice looking plan. As always, I start with the fuselage because that's what I start with, and then the tail and the wings. There's a free view blow up of it. Yeah, there we go. Looking forward to making the start on that. So follow along if you want. Hit the like button down below, and I'll see you in the build. Cheers, guys. So this is part one of the Guillow's Bird Dog 2021 Build Off Fly Off competition, organised by Doyle. And I always start with the fuselage. Now, I've had a look at the kit wood. Could be worse, could be better. A little bit hard in places. Hard means weight, but I'm going to reduce the weight as much as I can. So the very first thing I'm going to do is this isn't a laser cut kit. Beggars can't be choosers. It's the only one I could find in the UK. Very kindly sent to me by Model Shop Leeds. So excellent service. I shall leave their card there as a reminder of how good they are. So check out their website, by the way. www.modelshopleeds.co.uk. So I start with the fuselage. The sides are notched, and I've made these two formers, C and D, notched in accordance with the plan and braced horizontally. The first job is to connect the rear of the fuselage together. Do you see this peg, by the way? I've reversed it. It's not my idea, I saw it online, but it gives you a much gentler and wider pegging. Just sanding the grooves out. With the little tool. Of course, because it's not a laser cut kit, I'm guessing these are cut out on a laser cut kit. But then you've got all the horrible burnt balsa edges to contend with. There we go. So I've got the Lego out the loft, guys, and this is a very easy way of setting the fuselage up. I've just glued on the firewall, and I know the whole fuselage is absolutely parallel and straight, so a great way of doing it. Ta-da! Got the undercarriage on, got the formers in, and I'm just cutting out a couple of the the rest of the balsa, actually. Let me angle you down a minute. So if this was laser cut, it would have been obviously a lot easier, but it's called die cut because it's cut out with a big stamped down die. But the quality of the die, as it gets more and more worn, so as it gets tends to crush the balsa instead of cut it, hence the expression die crushed. What I've got here is the fuselage. In fact, it's before the wings. I can start putting on some of these stringers. I started to do this morning before I left for work. That one's going to go in there, down to there, and ends here. Now you can, no, I've got to definitely cut that one off there, and there's a piece of cardboard that finishes off around here, and it's good to leave bits sticking out to support it, but not these bits. I don't think these bits are going to be flush. We are in fact going to apply the CA using a small stick, this stick, and I'm going to put the CA on. Let's pop it on this card. There, like that. Make a little pool out of it. And because this is a reasonably tight fit, I'm going to pop it in place and CA it in place. So bear with me while I put that in. And I'm going to trim off put a little bit on there. That's all it needs. Don't forget, the less glue you use, the better the weight. Like that. Next piece. Okay, that's the back end done. Working on the underneath now, guys. The stringers have gone in nicely on the top, so I'll start with the middle one. Seems like a good place to start, doesn't it? Here's the first stringer in then, guys. I've got another 4 to do. So I've stuck the bottom stringers on. I'm going to cut that one to length there. That. Now this back bit is left open so as you can hook on the rubber motor. I'll probably tissue this very back bit in. Got to fit the tail wheel yet though, so can't do much there, but there we are, that's the bottom done. Time to start building the tail plane. Got the components. Just roll my sleeves up a bit. I've got to clean them up a little bit, I think. What do I do with S4? There's one S4. Where's the other S4? How can that be missing, guys? If I look back on the video, I'll see exactly where it's gone. So I've just looked in at the video I've just recorded to find out where the other S4 is, and I discovered it still in there. I never did have it out. The benefit of rewinding your life, eh? I just cemented in the last piece. Okay, here we go. Let's just see what happens here. Plastic CA sticks to other plastic, it doesn't. Oh, there you are, pretty good. Comes off clean. Ta-da! So I'll sand off these edges, leading edge, what have you, and then I'm going to take out a lot of wood out of the back of these pieces because this is all extra weight which we don't need. Okay, that's the tail plane done. All right, let me offer it up. Go on then, if you insist. Not quite balanced, but a very pretty tail plane, isn't it? The shape of those elevators, very nice. So again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take out a lot of this extra wood here to make it as light as possible. So I'm starting the wing, but I thought I'd show you this technique. We've got two choices here. The main spar, sorry, the trailing edge is split here, and the leading edge is split here. Excuse me. Now, you could probably just put a little nick in here in the leading edge and glue it in over the rib. Maybe you'd pick up a couple of gussets each side because the strut does join here as well. And likewise with the trailing edge. But here's a little technique. I've just cut this and I thought I'd better show you guys. You fix the first piece of wood in place on the leading edge. Let me illustrate it with, say, this piece here. Okay, you get that lined up with the leading edge. You can see how far it tapers back. You then get a rule, use another piece as a packer. You place it over the back edge of the leading edge so it follows this side, and then you cut through this really big angle, and what you're left with is this. Okay, so now you got that piece there, and that piece there came off there. Now this is the amazing thing. You just turn that piece over and glue the pieces together, and you've got a fantastic scarf joint that goes off at the exact angle that you want. And I'll do the same with this piece. Measure it, cut it off, and turn it over. Of course, the more accurate the cut, nice straight vertical cut, several swoops, because these two surfaces that you cut are your mating surfaces. No, they're not actually. Only one of them is, but it relies on a nice flat cut, as flat as you can get it. Okay, so I'm just going to flop that over, glue it in. I haven't actually done the rest of the ribs yet. Still got them to sand in, so perhaps I ought to crack on with that. It's a lovely tight fit. Right, I'm going to do the rest. I'll come back to you when I've got something to show you. Cheers, guys. What I've done then, I've unpinned the wings, but I've added a piece of 1/16 square on top of the 1/8 leading edge between the ribs. I could have nicked the front of the ribs out, I suppose, and stuck it in one go, but anyway, just to round up the leading edge a little bit more. This infilling business is hard work, isn't it? This first one took me forever, and this last one took me less time, but I've got the bottom to do now. The curved bits I'm doing, the bits that look better wood than tissue. There she is, looking pretty. Points to note will be the Balsa I've infilled around the nose cone. That's quite a job, but worth doing. Adds a lot of strength and puts weight where it needs to be. Lighten the fuselage here and there, lighten the tail plane by chewing out some of the wood using my Dremel. As I say, next step will be basically tissue covering. Just got to put a bit of cardboard trim around the nose and behind the window at the back, and she's ready to go. So there it is, looking very smart, I think you'll agree. There it is on the picture. That's what I built. Got a full set of transfers to go on as well. Whether I use them or not, I'm not sure, but they're there nevertheless. Second video following this one's going to be tissue covering. I haven't done it yet, but when it does appear, it's going to be just below and linked above at the end of the video for you to watch if you're interested in tissue covering. And the third and final part will be the trimming and flying. Just to remind you guys, I've got to do 20 seconds minimum air time to go into the draw to win the big prize, and whether we get there or not, it doesn't matter. It's been fun. So this build video comes to an end, and thanks very much for watching.